You guys probably never heard of Steel Toe Morning Show.
Never heard of it.
No, I'm listening.
So this guy, he used to host a radio show. He's in rural Minnesota, and he got fired from the radio. So now he was doing a Twitch, and now he's on YouTube and Rumble, and he does this podcast. And we have a big show coming up with a bunch of different podcasters, including Dick Masterson, biggest problem in the universe. It's called Hackamania, hackamania.com, promo code WATP. And so we're out in Las Vegas coming up in May, and we're going to be doing all these shows. And so this guy, Aaron Imholte from Steel Toe, is talking like, guys, I'll come to Hackamania, but I want to box all of you guys. And so he goes on his show and he goes, I know you guys think I'm the worst person on the internet and you all want a piece of me. So I'll tell you what, I'll rent out a gym and we'll have a boxing match. I'll take on 5 of you and we'll go 3 rounds each, 3-minute rounds. And I'll take on all you guys. It's like, Aaron, no one wants to fight you, but that's like that emotional, like you're all up in your own feels. Like, you guys think I'm the worst and you want to punch you. It's like, no one wants to punch you, Aaron. We appreciate making fun of what you do on the internet, and our listeners enjoy it as well.
Should have taken him up on it. Like, that's a lot of boxing he agreed to. I promise you, about the 5th guy. He's going to be talking.
Kyle all of a sudden, sure. All of us said, yes, that's fine. He said we needed to get approved by USA Boxing and do this and that. We're like, yeah, there he is. There's
that's
Aaron
the guy?
Imholte. Yeah, he's an amateur boxer.
Brother, what are you talking about, brother?
Wait, he wants to fight 5 people.
He's an
in
amateur
a row?
boxer, though?
Yeah, his record is 0-2. He's got a fight coming up in February.
This is photoshopped. There's no.
He's still
38.
skilled in the art. I don't know. I kind of want to see it. I wish it would. There's a universe where I could see him box.
He's wanting to fight 5 men.
He looks like a normal guy on the right. On the left, it looks like he's got an extra 4 inches of head.
People don't understand the advantage that like a boxer has over a non-boxer. You know,
I agree.
I agree. Like, if a guitar player challenged me to a competition, someone who can't play guitar, I know how out of my depth I am.
Yep.
But everyone thinks they can fight a little bit.
Yeah. No, I agree. He even challenged Dick Masterson, who
I think he weighs.
I wouldn't do that. I don't know if he could box or not, but I wouldn't challenge him to a fight.
I think Dick boxes, doesn't he?
Yeah, you would. But you know, how much does this guy weigh? You know, it's impossible to tell from this.
He says he's 225. He's 6'1".
Oh. Well, bro, I completely misjudged him in the first photo. Then he looks honestly in the first
6'1", but look at that 4 inches of that's forehead.
He looks like a short, skinny guy on the left, which is not at all. Like,
so Zach in the chat, I was just going to bring this up. You guys got to hear this guy's story. It's wild. You guys know who Nick Rekieta is?
We had him on years and years ago. He's the attorney who streamed the Amber Heard Johnny Depp trial.
Yes,
and
that and the Kyle Rittenhouse.
I don't remember Rittenhouse.
Maybe Kyle Rittenhouse too. He had both of those. He had more viewers than CNN on just on YouTube on his LawTube stream. So Nick Rekieta, also a friend of Dick, and I've done live shows with him before. So he also lives in Minnesota. He's about an hour away from Aaron. So Aaron's married to this chick, this blonde girl, April, and they do a show together. And then they team up. And yep, there's Nick, and that's Aaron's ex-wife April and Nick's wife Kayla. So they meet up at a comedy show, and then they become besties. And now they're all hanging out, the 4 of them, and the Reketas have kids, and Aaron has kids, and so the kids are hanging out, and they're doing all this stuff. And there's these other podcasters who are speculating that they're swingers and there's drugs involved and all this kind of stuff. And Aaron's going, this is ridiculous, you guys. None of that's going on. A few months go by. All of a sudden, April's off the show. And then another month goes by. And Aaron comes out and goes, all right, guys, I got to confess. April and I are having a divorce. And we've been swinging this whole time. And it turns out April left Aaron. So Aaron's wife, who's the co-host of the show, left to be with Nick and Nick's wife as a thruple.
Thruple.
Yes.
Thruple. Hate that.
Hey, what are you talking about? Hate that.
That's weird.
You don't want to thruple?
He got cucked by Nick Rekieta. He lost his wife to Nick
really
Rekieta.
Oh, the woman who left was married to this other guy.
Yes.
No longer.
Yes,
Kyle,
Aaron's wife left.
You don't want a thruple?
I don't. I think one woman. It's more than enough.
I'd have a throuple with you guys because I'm the hairiest, which means
I don't want to.
I get first right of penetration.
I'd have a throuple with Taylor because he's hairy.
It's disappointing one girl at a time is where I draw the line.
He couldn't stop us. We're too strong.
I'm not going to go into crazy details, but this is where it gets nuts. So we find out that Aaron's wife left him, and Aaron confesses that they were swapping wives, and they were doing all this drugs, and they had coke, and they were doing ecstasy, and all this kind of crazy stuff. Then Nick Rekieta's house gets raided. There's a search warrant. They go in, they find an ounce of cocaine. There's guns that are out. There's children running around, and Nick and his wife and April, who are all there, all go to jail. They lose the kids for a couple of months. And Aaron, yes. And so Aaron's tied to all of this because the police talked to him before the warrant was approved.
Holy cow.
So now there's this huge rivalry. They want to murder each other. You got Nick versus Aaron, and the women are involved and everything.
Dude, that dude's cool as fuck.
So then, yes.
It's cool as fuck.
So then Aaron...
Let's get him back on.
Aaron's on...
Let's get Nick Rekieta
You should get Nick back on. So then Aaron's on his show with this guy, Gino Bisconte, and Aaron's talk... Do you know Gino?
No.
Okay.
Sounds like an Italian guy.
Hey, Gino.
Proclivities,
He was on Compound Media. Anyway, so he's on a show with Gino Bisconte, and he's talking about how he used to bang Nick's wife, Kayla, and he sends him a nude pic of Kayla live on the show, and he goes... Hey, didn't do too bad, did I, huh? Pretty sweet. And Gino's like, okay, which is a weird thing to do, to send a nude of like a girl you used to fuck to your friend.
It is weird.
It's like, yeah, like, all right, whatever, man.
That might be a crime.
Could be.
It is.
As a crime. Yeah.
So he was arrested for a felony for revenge porn. And so now Aaron has a felony. So Nick's dealing with these legal battles with the cocaine and the guns and everything like that. And now Aaron has a felony, and he just went to court yesterday or the day before.
Was it?
It was an ounce. Yeah, it was like 27 grams.
Did it go federal?
Or, not 27. Yeah, it'd be.
He went federal?
I don't think it's federal, no. Zach actually posted this in the chase. Says, during a search of Rekieta's home, officers said they found drugs that tested positive for cocaine and ketamine, along with drug paraphernalia. Rekieta and his wife were charged with second-degree drug possession, child endangerment, and a gross misdemeanor firearm charge. Now, I will say that child endangerment has been wiped away.
That's good.
Okay. They got the kids back. Yeah, they got the kids back. Everything's good there. Good. So, as far as we know, they've cleaned up their act, and there's
it seems to me like some people were just doing some cool shit in the confines of their own home, and Johnny Law came a knocking, busting it.
I felt bad for Nick because obviously he had just re-upped. Like he had just scored the night before or something. So they're just like, yeah, all right, we got our stats for the next month. And that's when they actually had to bust the door down.
What was the reason they went in? Exactly what happened?
Okay, so they did have a search warrant. They were concerned about the children. There were people at their church who were saying that the kids seemed dirty, and they were complaining about being hungry. And so they were worried that there were some issues with that. Yeah, they were worried about issues with that. And so they busted down the door, and that's when they found drugs and everything else.
Okay, well, dirty, hungry kids. I don't care for that.
Sound good. Yeah,
who said that? Did the kids say they were hungry and they were visibly dirty, or was it someone trying to nail Nick with this? That was like, the kids are dirty. The kids.
I'm friends with Nick, and I've talked to him directly about this, so I've heard.
Are his kids dirty?
I've heard this side of this. His kids are awesome. They homeschool them. The kids are all very smart, very healthy.
That's my question. Are those kids dirty?
Are they incredibly energetic?
Have you looked under their fingernails?
How do his children smell?
I will say the 9-year-old tested positive in a hair follicle test for cocaine, but that has been thrown out.
But the evidence has, or the charge has.
The charge has, but that did happen.
So was it like
happen to anybody?
Like how does that happen? Like, I guess what was the rationalization for we got a false positive on a hair test?
They won't say. They won't say why.
Positive.
Yeah. There's no way to say if it's why it's a false
old was
positive
the
or if
kid?
it's a false positive.
They
9.
didn't say it was a false positive. They said they weren't
Taylor,
charging
you don't
anymore, almost like
understand.
they didn't have
It's really cool.
permission to take the higher.
It does sound like a cool ass kid.
Could you imagine?
Railing lines before getting on Roblox or whatever the fuck kids do.
They said that the way that this kid tested positive would be like a user who uses pretty heavily on the weekends.
Oh, that's no good, dude.
So I don't think a 9-year-old's doing that much blow. I doubt it.
Yeah, they're just
I
getting
have a
into
hard
air.
time believing a 9-year-old is railing lines like that after
Yeah.
mom and dad go to bed, because mom and dad aren't going to bed early because they're doing a lot of cocaine.
That's
There
true.
has to be a lot.
His
Imagine how
parents were
much.
in a thruple, right? So he comes from a long line of cool people, Taylor.
A long
Yeah.
line of sane, normal people.
Dude, that's-
You think
Dude, that's sick. Like if you could like get a little LDS structure with that too, that's the dream. I want to get like I want to find a couple LDS escapees, make them my ladies.